Oh, hey, hi everyone. Welcome to CAT for MBA. And guys, in today's session, it's a short one. I want to talk about one very important thing, vocabulary, the five top myths related to vocabulary. Okay, वो कौन से five myths हैं जिनको कई students believe करते हैं, but then they never happen. Okay, and these are the five things that you should keep in mind. Okay, connected to vocabulary. Okay, so guys, this is something about myself. My name is Himanshu. I'm an MA and MPhil English Literature by background. I have 11 years of experience of teaching students for CAT, and I had a 99.74 percentile on the CAT verbal section. So guys, these are some of the batches that we are running. You can have a look at them on the Unacademy app. These are the batches that we have on the Plus platform. Okay, so guys, I hope you are following us on the YouTube and the Telegram. And this is one important thing. I hope all of you have downloaded the Unacademy app. आप में से जिन लोगों ने Unacademy app को download नहीं किया है, you can use my code to get free access to the sessions that we have. Now, guys, we have the free sessions, okay, where you can use this referral code and you will get the free sessions. And then we also have something called as the plus program, where we get exclusive content, okay, the paid content. And guys, this is the code that I have, and you can use my code so that you can reduce your total amount by 10%. Okay, so जो आपकी fees है, it goes down by 10% and it becomes 15,750. Okay, so you can use my code, reduce the amount of money that you pay for the course. It's a fantastic course, and it will really help you in your preparation for CAT. Okay, so guys, coming to the main thing of today's session. Okay, कौन से myths हैं? What are the five myths that we have about studying vocabulary? First myth: there is a specific method to study vocabulary. We have heard of root method. We have heard of clustering. Okay, we have books like Word Palm Made Easy. Guys, let me make this very clear. Vocab is a skill that develops over a period of time with consistency. Vocabulary is something that you develop even when you watch TV. Vocabulary is something that you develop even when you watch Netflix. Vocabulary is something that you develop even while you communicate, you listen to news. It also develops when you read a newspaper. The most important thing in vocabulary is not following a specific approach or a specific method, but consistency and your connection with the word. बहुत important चीज है. देखो, why do you learn a word? You learn a word because you connect with the word. You spend some time with the word. जितना ज़्यादा आपका उस वर्ड के साथ कनेक्शन होगा, जितना ज़्यादा आप उसके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करोगे, उतना ही बेटर वर्ड वो आपको समझ आएगा। Now the main problem with most people is that they tend to believe that there is only one way to learn a word. सिर्फ यार एक मेथड होता है, वर्ड फॉर्म मेड इजी पढ़ना है, ठीक है, आई हैव टू डू दी वोकैबुलरी एंड फॉर दैट आई हैव टू फॉलो दिस बुक और दिस मेथड, ओके, आई हैव टू लर्न ऑल द रूट्स. नो गाइस, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. Okay, you have to be consistent. That means you should have a plan in mind that okay, for the next 6 months I'm going to develop vocabulary. And second thing that you need is basically your interest in the idea of vocabulary. अगर आप उस vocab को you are studying vocabulary just because you're under pressure कि CAT की preparation करनी है, एक certain exam की preparation करनी है, I don't think you will be able to sustain. You will lose interest and then you will finally give up. Okay, so interest is very important. Okay, not the method. Okay, you can follow any method. You can follow random methods. You can follow methods as per your whims and fancies, or like in some cases you might not follow any method at all. You will still have vocabulary if you consistently expose yourself to words and you just look at words when they whenever you get an opportunity and just spend some time, right? That's it. Chaliye. You need at least 10 to 15 repetitions to master certain word. Now guys, this is something that I've heard from a lot of people. Even a lot of teachers claim this, that if you want to have a good vocabulary, what is very important is 10 to 15 repetitions. 10 to 15 repetitions नहीं होंगे तो vocab develop नहीं होगी. Okay, 10 to 15 repetitions, 10 to 15 repetitions, guys, understand this. Vocab takes time. I accept it. And there's a method, there's a consistency that we need to keep. लेकिन एक चीज समझो आप, there's no fixed rule as to how many repetitions you need in order to learn words. Some people with good memory can manage a word in 2 3 repetitions. Some people who are not that good with memory, okay, might take 10 to 15 repetitions. It's not a ground rule that you need 10 to 15. Understand this. Okay, अभी देखो problem क्या होती है? A lot of us start with that assumption. A lot of us start with that assumption that in order to learn vocabulary, you need 10 to 15 repetitions. Okay, so that is a wrong assumption. Don't believe that. Okay, it depends. Every person will have a different capacity to learn words. Every person will have a different capacity to remember words. Okay, so don't believe that myth that you need 10 to 15 repetitions to master something. ऐसा नहीं है. ठीक है. तो अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि एक्चुअली होता क्या है. देखो, why do we need repetitions? Because we have not been able to focus when we read the word for the first time. जितना वीक आपका फोकस फर्स्ट रीडिंग में होगा, उतना ही ज्यादा आपको मेहनत सेकंड और थर्ड रीडिंग में करनी पड़ेगी. Why don't you read the word in the best possible manner in the first instant itself? Okay, how do you learn words? You look at a word, you look at the context, you look at the way in which the word has been used, you look at its connotation, you look at some synonyms and antonyms. ठीक है. आपके माइंड में एक मेंटल पिक्चर बनाओ वर्ड. ठीक है, आपने एक वर्ड को देखा, आप उसको इमेजिन करो कि अगर मुझे ये वर्ड रियल लाइफ में यूज करना हो, हाउ वुड आई यूज दिस वर्ड इन अ रियल सिचुएशन. Okay, just imagine using that word. Okay, just think that what sort of connotation this word carries and what are the context in which I can justify using this. Okay, connect with the word. Okay, when you use a certain word for the first time, okay, try to make sense of the word in its entirety rather than understanding the word in bits and pieces. Okay, time तो लगेगा आपको. You will take time. Okay, because like when you look at a word in its entirety, okay, you need to spend some time, right? Okay, बहुत से words के कई dimensions होते हैं, लेकिन एक फायदा भी होगा. आपको बार बार repeat नहीं करना पड़ेगा. That's very important, guys. Because if you do not spend time the first reading or in the first phase of learning, okay, what will happen eventually, whatever the next stage is, you will need more and more repetition. ठीक है, आप कोई भी वर्ड को पढ़ते हो, टाइम स्पेंड करो. ठीक है, सिनोनिम्स एंटोनिम्स देखो, आराम से उसका कंटेक्स्ट देखो, एक सेंटेंस बनाओ अच्छा सा. ठीक है, एंड do it properly. Okay, and don't believe that you need 10 to 15 repetitions. Okay, some of us can manage doing words in even two or three readings or two or three repetitions. Okay, I've seen and personally known many students who can manage to learn a word in like two, three repetitions max. हो सकता है. ठीक है. Third is mastering vocabulary is a tough job. It's time consuming. देखो यार, I can accept that for some people it might be time consuming. But when I say it's time consuming, okay, understand this that inherently I'm being negative. Inherently I'm being negative about the whole process. एक चीज समझ. It may be time consuming, right? But then when I say it's time consuming in a sense that it's tough, and because it's tough, it takes a lot of time, then I'm wrong. See, something is tough or easy depending on how you look at it. Okay, if I believe that doing words is something that adds value to my life, I would not think it's a tough task. If I think that this is something that I'm just doing for the heck of it because there's a certain exam that I plan to write, then obviously आपको tough लगेगा. तो एक चीज समझो. Those of us, those of us who have good vocabulary, um, would never think vocab to be something that has to be done just for the sake of an exam. You start saying that vocabulary stuff when the only reason why you are reading words is because you want to clear a certain exam. अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो तुम कभी बोलोगे नहीं कि टफ है. You will enjoy vocabulary. You will enjoy vocabulary because vocabulary helps you to communicate better. Vocabulary helps you to be more articulate. Vocabulary helps you to read a newspaper, okay, in a better manner, obviously. Okay, vocabulary helps you understand a good article. Vocabulary helps you read a novel. Okay, so your vocabulary is something that contributes to your life. Okay, when you enjoy vocabulary, it becomes it becomes a sort of a thing that you enjoy, right? Okay, you will never say it's a tough job. Now, the adjective tough is used by those people who literally hate vocabulary, but then they are somehow uh, they're somehow caught in a situation where they have to do vocabulary because that's a part of the scene. तो वो लोग बोलते हैं कि वो टफ इसलिए है क्योंकि आप उसे एंजॉय नहीं करते. बट एज अ पर्सन इफ यू आर एंजॉइंग vocabulary, it would never be a tough job. It would be an enjoyable activity that adds value to your overall life. Okay, that is one thing. That is what my perspective is. The fourth myth is you have to do each and every word. देखो, every word has multiple synonyms. There's no limit to the number of words that you can learn. You pick up any word in English, it will have multiple. Okay, multiple synonyms, multiple context. Uh, now, humanly, it's not possible to learn every word, right? हमारी टेंडेंसी होती है कि हम कभी भी किसी चीज को करना स्टार्ट करते हैं तो हम सोचते हैं कि हम सब कुछ कवर कर लें. Guys, this is something that's not possible with vocabulary. Impossible to learn every synonym of every word, and it's not also required. Understand this. There are certain words which are asked more often in the exams. There are certain words that you will use in daily communication. There are certain words that you will see more in novels and newspapers. Those certain words are called as high frequency words. High frequency words. Okay, now you can identify these high frequency words through experience. You can also identify high frequency words by looking at the different types of content that is available in the market, and you will gain experience as to what which words come more often. And then there are some ready-made books that can give you a list of high frequency. You can use any of these methods, right? Don't focus on learning each and every word. Focus on those words which are asked more often, which we use more often. The words that are asked more often in the exams, the words that we use more often in the exams are the words that we call as high frequency. आपको ना फोकस करना है हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी. ठीक है, सारे वर्ड्स पे फोकस करोगे तो बहुत टाइम लगेगा और वो हो भी नहीं पाएंगे बिकॉज लाइक दर इनन्यूमरेबल. Okay, there's no limit to the number of words that you can learn. Okay, that is not our focus. Our focus is to focus on certain high frequency words, and if you're able to do that, I think you have done your job. Perfect. चलिए लास्ट मिथ की बात करते हैं. The last myth is root method is the best method. Root method is the best method. Okay, so guys, root method is the method that we have in word farm made easy also. ठीक है, तो क्या ये best method है? Is it the best method that we have for learning words? Root method is indeed a good method, right? We people prefer root method because root method provides us a convenient approach to learn words. Okay, क्यों convenient होता है? You have certain roots. Okay, you have suffixes and prefixes. You look at the suffix and prefix and you can work out the meaning of the. A single prefix or a single suffix can give you 20 words, right? तो यार बहुत इजी सा होता है. हमने देखा प्रीफिक्स, अच्छा ये प्रीफिक्स है, गायने प्रीफिक्स है, गायनोकोलॉजी, गायनोकोलॉजिस्ट, गायनोशियम, गायनोइड. ओके, ओके, गायने मींस फीमेल. हाँ, मुझे वर्ड का मीनिंग पता चल गया. अच्छी बात है. But guys, you have to understand one thing. Nowadays, when you look at the competitive exams, these people are very smart. They are not asking you questions based on root method. Okay, they are very smart. They're asking you questions for which you won't be able to trace any root, right? Because obviously, it's not like every root has like 10 or 20 words that come from that root. Okay, the reason why we see all those words coming from a single root is because the books that are meant to teach you root method are made in such a way that they give you those words only which have 10, 15, 20 words coming from the same root. Okay, but in reality, okay, in actual real world, okay, you have certain roots where you can find only one or two words from that root, or maybe more words, but then you would not be able to decipher the root in that word. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is this: that guys, root method is good, but in today's context, you cannot imagine managing the syllabus of a certain exam just on the basis of root method. At max, root method will cover 10 to 15% of the syllabus that you have in the exam for vocabulary. My suggestion would be use different approaches. Okay, use clustering, use contextual understanding, use reading and making sense of the word and then referring a dictionary once you have calculated the word meaning mentally. Also focus on jotting down whatever words you have learned on a daily basis in a manual so that you can revise those words. Okay, use guys all those methods. Reading बहुत सारी करो, ठीक है, डिस्कशन बहुत सारा करो, ठीक है, वर्ड्स के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करो. Okay, just look at different ways in which the word has been used in the context. Don't just rely on one method. Okay, अगर वैसा करोगे तो फिर वही प्रॉब्लम होने वाली है. You will always think that okay, why I'm never able to do the words in the exams, क्योंकि भाई आपने जो method follow किया वो एक that was a stereotypical straight jacketed approach, and this one approach for every word does not work. Okay, so this is the last myth. and that is that root method is the only method, that's the best method. ऐसा नहीं है. Root method is a good method. I don't deny that. There are many books available in the market that are based on root method. But the thing is that in order to learn words, you need more than root method. Okay, you need different approaches and you have to experiment with the approaches. Okay, so guys, I hope this session added some value. Okay, so it was a short session, and these are the 5 myths about learning vocabulary. And I hope you use this knowledge to your advantage. And that's it for today. Thank you very much.